What's going on, everybody? It's Tuesday, June 6th, 2023, and we're going to get another day in the life of Jeff's HVAC adventure. So let's get going. All right, we got to replace this condensate pump down here. We're actually in an attic. That is a drop ceiling below. It might actually be easier to get to it from above, but we'll try it from here. So it's only 120 volts. It plugs in right here. I got my little drop light hooked up. So let's pull it out of there. Well, I guess they set the pump and then put the pipe in because I can't get the pump out with the condensate the way it is, the condensate drain. So I'm just gonna cut it here and then put a coupling in. That should have freed her up. Overflow switch isn't hooked up, which is weird, being in a drop ceiling. I'll probably go ahead and hook up the overflow switch because it's got a pan switch here. So might just as well hook the overflow switch up on the new one. All right, where's our new pump? New pump's over here. Going back with the Little Giant VCMA 20, 115 volt pump. You're not going to get me this time. Good. All right. All right, got it all put back on. Got my coupling glued in and got the overflow switch wired in series with the pan overflow switch. All right, this one is done. This unit apparently, allegedly, is low on charge too, so we might be doing a leak search on it, but there's one down yonder too that is flat, so we're going to look at that one first. No refrigerant at all, so we'll take a look at that one and see what's going on there. All right, here's the one we're going to be leak searching right off the bat. There's oil everywhere. Oil all along the bottom. See it stained there? Oil about 2 inches up the coil. There's oil everywhere. Look, it's even stained all the way up here. I think something busted loose. Something must have busted loose up in here. All right, let's open her up and take a look. It's up here somewhere. vents right here. Bam. Well, I've really pissed it off now. I tried to move this back a little and it got worse. I can feel it shooting out of there. I was trying to see if there was maybe a pinhole I could fix. But it's right where it penetrates that bracket. I still might be able to fix that. I'm gonna give the customer options though. Let them make the decision. First option being replace the coil. Because I don't think this is going to be under warranty. What year we got it? 2012. See, Goodman does the first two numbers, and the serial number is the year. So that's a 2012. Carrier does the first two numbers are the week, second two numbers are the year. So yeah, give the customer an option on replacing the coil, and then give them an option on just fixing the leak or attempting to fix it. I could probably cut this away, cut some of this out, and try to braze that because it's copper on both sides. We'll see. All right, this one here is apparently low on refrigerant too. Some oil here. I already hit it with the sniffer, didn't see anything. Let's hook it up and see how low it actually is. Alright, this one's still stabilizing. It did get my suction pressure did get up to like 95, and then it went down to like 85, and now it's going back up. It's definitely low on refrigerant. See where it stabilizes though, if it ever does. Alright, I'm still fluctuating. My TXV is still hunting. That's probably because of the low refrigerant charge. But, I mean, all things considered, it's not super low, but it is low. And I do have a valve core that is slightly leaking. It is leaking some, and the caps were not tight. Did all my refrigerant leak out there? I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell. This one's been short cycling. Well, not short cycling, but it's only been running for about 5 minutes at a time, but we're gonna do one thing at a time here. Holding charge on this is 8 pounds 10 ounces. Judging by these numbers here, I'd say it would take at least 3 pounds. So it's probably lost a third of its charge. Depending on how long it's been leaking for, it could have been that valve core. I'm gonna go over it a little bit further though. I hate to just call it a leaky valve core, because that's pretty, you know, oh, it's the valve core's leaking, and then you move on. So I'm not gonna call it a valve core unless it actually is. But we're getting up there now. The longer we run, the better it's looking. But yeah, see, we're dropping back down now. That valve is still hunting, and it's probably just because we're low on refrigerant. Probably get back up there to the air handler. This is the one I just put the pump on, condensate pump. All right, get back up in there in the attic and poke around with the sniffer a little bit. Well, I've been all around this coil. I haven't found anything, any hits on my leak detector, so I don't think it's leaking from anywhere inside here. Yeah, back around here to the outdoor unit. Yeah, I didn't see any evidence of a leak on that evaporator coil. So I did hear somebody talking on the HVAC Shop Talk channel. Zach's live stream one time. He had Ted Cook on there, the anti-DIY guy, and somebody had commented saying, why has Trane had so many leaky coils? And Ted said he hadn't really ran into that, and he's a pretty significant Trane dealer. He moves a good amount of Trane, and he hadn't seen, you know, too many failures, or at least an abnormal amount of failures. So and neither have I really, but I don't run into a whole lot of Trane like that. So I don't know, let me know down in the comments if that coil has been leaking, if those TAM 7 or TAM air handlers have had leaky coils, because I've replaced one, I think, in the past 5 or 6 years. But other than that, you know, I thought they were a pretty solid coil. We got a case of big old fat cap. Yeah, she's swelled up. Sometimes it's hard to come up on camera. You can tell she's swelled up compared to this one, exact same capacitor. See, this one's flat across and it's actually got an indentation there. This one swelled right up. All right, let's get it swapped out. All right, I got my new capacitor installed. I've left this coil wire off because I want to be over here with the unit when it starts, and my disconnect is a pretty decent ways away. I'm gonna turn this on. Yeah, I'm under this patio here. Kind of sucks, but I'm sure it does not help the airflow on these units, but I mean, what are you gonna do? Tell the guy to tear his deck down. All right. Let's see. Let's see what she's gonna do when we hook her up. Oh, it started. That's a good thing. .8. 7.4. Be all that was wrong with this one, but few things on it. That is not cold at all. Of course, it just did start. He's rejecting a good amount of heat, but we're 18 inches away from this deck here. Give it a couple minutes. All right, I went right for the gauges here because I had a feeling I was going to have to put some refrigerant in, and I'm right. It's pretty low. I have no subcooling, 52 degrees of superheat. Hold on a second, let me check. Is this thing even 410? Yeah, no, it's R22. Well, that's weird. Let's change our settings then. See? You always got to stay on top of this type of stuff. Well, this thing might be overcharged. Or this here. Really messing us up. These are really weird settings, or really weird readings here. It's starting to get a little colder. There's no markings of anything different, like a RS44, MO99, nothing like that. So I have to trust that there's R22 in here. This was a unit from 2014 at VTF 14. So that means this unit was probably put in dry. It probably came filled with nitrogen. Because I think in 2014 they weren't shipping units with R22 in it. They were just doing nitrogen. These pressures are pretty high for R22, and I'm thinking it has to do with something with that. I'm gonna try washing the coil. I'll cool the coil down and see if we can get those readings a little lower. I sprayed some water on the coil while it was running just to see what would happen, and it did bring the pressures down a little bit. But as you can see, that subcooling is like still really high. I feel like this thing, it's hard to tell. It looks like it's overcharged. But with this, it being this close to this deck, it's hard to say. Running weird. I almost wonder, because I thought it was 410A at first. I wonder if somebody else has put 410A in this thing. Definitely bizarre. I'm curious what the temp split's gonna be. I'll go up there and check a temp split. Alright, I'm up here in the attic now. And this is an extremely tight attic. Okay. I guess they just did an outdoor unit change out. Use this air handler. Does not match that outdoor unit. Pretty tight up here. Well, I don't know why somebody put the clean out after the trap. That doesn't do me very good. It is making water though. There's no water in the pan. Of course, it hasn't been running either. All right, I'm going back. Let me get this model number first. And then the coil. There we go.
Kidnapping as well. There's also a Texas county sheriff that is.
All right, well, I took care of the immediate issue, which was the blown capacitor, but I think this has a lot to do with, one, it being mismatched. I don't know if this has got the wrong refrigerant in it, though. I've got about a 16-degree split. I'm sure it would do a lot better without being right underneath this deck. And the crazy thing is, the line sets come from over there. I don't know why somebody decided to put them underneath this deck. Maybe to get them out of view, so it made them didn't look as obtrusive. I don't know. But when he goes to replace these, I'm going to recommend he moves them back out from underneath this deck. So I don't know, guys. Let me know what you guys would have done. All right, guys, we just finished up with that call there. Basically, the main issue was a bad capacitor, but you can see from where the unit is installed, it is definitely not running right. So I am getting him a quote to move those units out from underneath that deck. And he said he had plans on rebuilding the deck and maybe putting like a heavy grate to help him breathe. I said, yeah, you could do that. I said, but the best thing is move him out from underneath this deck, man. So that's going to be your best bet. So that's what he's probably going to do. I'm going to give him a quote on doing that. And I'm going to recover whatever refrigerant is in there, because where the pressures still looked weird, even though it was underneath that deck, those pressures still looked weird. So I'm going to recover all that and put back fresh 422B. That way I know exactly what's in there. So I'm going to get him a quote to do all that. So, all right, guys, but that's going to be it for this one. If you haven't done so already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out when you do that. So, all right, guys, I'm off to the next one.